McGregor, you're a rapist. What do you think?
What do you have to say? Say sorry for what has happened.
Do you have any reaction or apology to the women at the centre of this? Do you have a reaction?
No, come on.
Do you have an apology to the women at the centre of this?
So today, Conor McGregor lost his civil court case. But today I've actually made a little bit more in-depth video about the difference between a civil and a criminal case. Civil court case. I think that's important. This is a civil case, not a criminal one. Prosecutors basically reviewed this and came to the conclusion that there was not evidence beyond any reasonable doubt. Biggest thing being, in a civil case, it's more of a payout. So obviously, Conor has lost this civil case. There will be a payout to the woman. In a criminal case, that's when you're looking at actual jail time. Now, this was a very complex case. I did my due diligence and I really researched it, heard opinions from different people and really looked in to what was being said on both sides. And I really wanted to do that because I think that's fair. I think it's quite easy in these situations to really look at Conor McGregor's behavior, especially as of recent, and form an opinion. I really didn't want to do that. I just wanted to, hear what was said from both sides and kind of get, a judgment of what happened. So I think anyone that is interested in this case or really wants to know, details, and of course, some of the details are quite disturbing and are unbelievably shocking. But anyone that, really wants to look into it, I would suggest that they do so. I think when you deal with SA in general, it's a very, very sensitive topic. I personally know some people that have dealt with that firsthand, and it's traumatic. And I think in these situations, you just have to be a good listener, because a lot of people that have dealt with similar situations like this, either, sometimes they never recover or, they're never the same. They've got, post-traumatic stress disorder, things of these nature. So it's really one of those topics you have to proceed with caution. But yeah, I think the whole thing is very disappointing. I think the whole thing is very sad. Of course, there's a victim in this. Very, very difficult situation. Obviously, she actually had a case against the friend, Conor McGregor's friend that was there. And the friend actually won that case. And her friend actually, that was present at the time as well, she actually testified on Conor McGregor's behalf. So like I said, it's a very complex case. By no means does that mean I'm saying that Conor is innocent. By no means am I saying he's guilty. I think it's just something that, if you're interested in the details, maybe look into it. As for me, this video, I'm really going to discuss Conor McGregor and really who he's become. I think this is someone where, not a lot of people are going to do what I did. Not a lot of people are going to do the research. Not a lot of people are going to get, multiple opinions. They're not going to, look over the court documents, things of that nature. The title is just going to say, he was guilty and he was guilty of this. And I think for Conor McGregor, this is just very damning. I think obviously you could see his parents were in attendance at the court. They look like good people to me, very supportive. And, they're going to have to hear this when they're in Ireland or, you're the parents of Conor, he's the one that did this. And, it's really difficult on the family. Of course, his fiance was there as well. What is she thinking about this situation? Unbelievably difficult for her to go through because she didn't do anything. He's got 4 kids at home and, maybe they'll have to hear these things as well. So, real difficult situation, a real shame. I think when you look at a guy like Conor McGregor, he was really someone that captured the public's imagination, got into UFC, and the fan base that he had in Ireland. I know a lot of Irish people. It's quite working class background. They come from that hard work, down to earth people. And really, that's what I thought Conor was. I watched the documentary on Netflix. I think that you saw a guy in that documentary that was just so laser focused, super hard working guy. And, I used to be a fan. I used to be a big fan. So it's just sad that it's come to this point. And, especially with a case like this actually happened years ago. Look at some of the behavior that he's shown as of recently, as of a few weeks ago. Do you really see a change? And I think there's some people out there that find his behavior quite amusing. But, when you actually look into it, this is a 36-year-old guy with 4 kids at home, a fiance, as a professional athlete, his behavior is just it's just embarrassing on many levels. So, you know, it's a real shame, and you know, especially for Conor McGregor. I think I've said this for a while now. That Floyd Mayweather fight, it was the biggest blessing, but the biggest curse at the same time. It was a blessing in terms of the financial standpoint, but in terms of what it did to him, in terms of financially, you saw a massive change in his character. I think you've seen this numerous times now. The Khabib situation on the bus, you know, clearly around some of the wrong people. It looks like he's got a serious drug and a drink problem. Speaking about Khabib's family, you know, this is a guy that, you know, we've seen out, you know, he's disrespectful to his fiance in public, constantly with bad language. I've seen a video of him punch an old guy at a bar for no reason, completely unprovoked. And this is just the type of behavior that, you know, yeah, you had that massive fan base from Ireland, but you know, if you're kind of, you know, almost looking down on these people and forgetting where you've come from, you know, people will really just turn their back on you. And, you know, sometimes life does have a funny way of humbling you. So even if, like I said, you know, even if he is or he isn't guilty, all these other things are really clouding people's judgment. And it does come to the point where you were acting so obnoxiously for so long that something like this was bound to happen. It was really just a matter of time. You know, when you see this with athletes, obviously I've mentioned Floyd Mayweather. You know, it's a similar situation with him. You know, Floyd Mayweather, you know, amazing boxing career, but, you know, he's got in trouble. You know, he's had domestic violence. Every time there's a social, you know, injustice, he has nothing to say. He's actually turned his back on the black community on multiple occasions. And, you know, these are the people that are tuning into your fight, paying their hard-earned money to watch you, you know, buying the pay-per-view, traveling to your events. And, you know, you've kind of got this attitude that you're better than people, that you're above people, and that you can just do what you want and get away with it. So look, you know, like I said, I think it is very disappointing when certain people get to this level and you really see who they really are. But make no mistake, you know, that doesn't excuse you know, someone's behavior. Super serious allegations, very sensitive topic, one that should be taken serious. Any victims of SA, in which some of them that I know, you know, just know that on this channel especially, you know, we take these things seriously. It's clearly a traumatic event. If you look into the court documents, there was bruising, there were serious injuries mentioned as well. So, you know, a very serious topic that, you know, I didn't want to hide away from. You know, I think these things do need to get discussed and really, you know, put your opinion out there. There's also a breaking story that came out saying that the woman's home actually got broken into when her partner was there, men with masks, and her partner actually got stabbed. You know, this is just shocking. It's really shocking news. It's not good for anyone. And that's another traumatic event. So I think this whole situation, like I said, whether Conor McGregor did it or did not do it, this is just not the type of thing that you should be getting involved in.